I've hardly managed to put up a video about Putin and the appalling relationship that he's got with the satellite states around Russia, and how the Azerbaijani airplane crash has damaged Moscow's relationship even further, killing 37 people. But now Putin has in fact apologized for the crash, but his carefully choreographed statement stops short of admitting responsibility. This is classic Kremlin obfuscation, condolences without accountability, regret without recognition. And the question is, what does this mean, not just for Russia's regional relationships, for its credibility on the global stage? The crash occurred on December the 25th, and Putin apologized on December the, what is it today, December the 30th. For 5 days, the Kremlin has remained silent. Why the delay? December the 29th, sorry. Why the delay? Was it logistical, or were those four and a half days spent crafting a narrative that dodged culpability? The tardiness underscores Russia's habitual disregard for transparency, and the timing reeks of damage control rather than genuine remorse. Putin's statement avoids key specifics. Was the plane hit by Russian air defences? Were GPS systems jammed, and in what order? Instead, he blames a complicated situation caused by Ukrainian drone attacks, an implausible claim, frankly, given the location hundreds of miles from the Ukrainian border. The convenient scapegoat is here Ukraine, and suggesting Ukrainian drones, which was already part of the narrative, even as the birds were blamed, suggesting Ukrainian drones provoked Russian defences near Grozny is geographically and strategically dubious, absurd. Ukrainian strikes this far into Russia are rare, and claiming they inadvertently caused this crash feels like a preposterous stretch. Reports from Ukrainian officials, who of course have been monitoring this incident, and Azerbaijani media suggest the damaged plane was not deliberately redirected towards the Caspian Sea to sink evidence. But whether true or not, the mere plausibility of such a theory reflects how deeply distrustful the world has become of Russian motives. And certainly, if you look on the internet and social media, you will find many narratives which suggest that the plane was diverted and that the wireless was jammed, so causing this extraordinary move for the plane to have gone. It was travelling north, and suddenly it goes east by quite a long way to Kazakhstan. Survivors' accounts of loud bangs and shrapnel wounds align suspiciously well with the theory of a Russian surface-to-air missile causing the crash. Azerbaijan, which is balancing its ties between Russia and Turkey, has avoided any direct accusations, but this incident introduces a fissure in what had been a pragmatic relationship, and Putin's weak apology risks undermining Moscow's influence in the Caucasus, where Azerbaijan increasingly aligns with Turkey and Western powers. For neighbouring states like Kazakhstan and Armenia, the crash signals the risks of operating under Russia's sphere of influence, and if even a commercial airliner can fall victim to Moscow's recklessness, what safety assurances can smaller states expect from this big, out-of-control bear? The incident adds fuel to Western narratives of Russian incompetence and thrashing aggression, reinforcing calls for greater NATO vigilance in border regions, and it also highlights the collateral damage of Moscow's war on Ukraine spreading beyond the battlefield. Georgia, extremely wary, the people are extremely wary even if the government is on board with Russia. People are extremely wary of Russia, even if the government is on board with Russia. Azerbaijan, Armenia, Kazakhstan, all distancing themselves. This highlights the collateral damage that Moscow's war on Ukraine has had. It's spreading beyond the battlefield. The Soviet downing of the Korean Air Flight 007 in 1983, the MH17 over Ukraine in 2014, and now this. The consistent theme: denial, distraction, and a refusal to admit fault. Each incident further erodes Russia's moral and diplomatic standing, even among allies, and each incident confirms a pattern of behavior. Electronic warfare, GPS jamming, trigger-happy air defenses make Russia-adjacent airspace perilous. This crash may discourage civilian flights over or near Russian-controlled zones, isolating the country further. And Putin's apology is less about remorse and more about damage control, because Putin isn't actually controlling this. This is somebody who's written a script for Putin to recite. The Putin puppet is wheeled out, learns his lines, and recites. The Kremlin likely fears alienating Azerbaijan further, a valuable partner in energy and regional security and strategy. Russia's response, denial, disinformation, deflection, prioritizes domestic narratives over international accountability. It prioritizes the war over morality. It prioritizes Putin over practicality. The apology is for show, it's not for substance. And the apology exemplifies the Kremlin's refusal to admit fault, its callous disregard for human life, its reliance on propaganda, and for the region it signifies Moscow's waning credibility and increasing desperation. The world has learned yet again that apologies from the Kremlin come not from the heart, but from the strategic imperative to save face. And Putin's words themselves ring hollow, a whisper against the loud, damning evidence of Russian recklessness. For Azerbaijan and the region, this tragic incident serves as yet another cautionary tale of the dangers of proximity to the Kremlin.